Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 15 recap on DraftKings. I'm going to take an autopsy here. I'm going to take a look back at everything that happened during Week 15. I'm going to go through my article. I'm going to see the things that I got right, the things that I got wrong. We're going to look at where I got lucky or unlucky. It was a very weird week. Everything in the early games smashed. Things in the late games kind of went bonkers. I'm going to go over my lineups in tournaments this weekend on both DraftKings and on FanDuel. And we're going to kind of take a look at where things shook out, as well as the cage match, which I don't seem to have pulled up right now, but I'll get that for you in a little bit. And we'll go over everything that we have. So thank you guys for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's get to Best Buys. Here it is, my article on ESPN Plus. If you wanted to go check it out, it's going to run through the playoffs until the NFC Championship game, the 2-game slate there, at I think that long. So we got some more weeks of this. Lamar Jackson, 17 of 22. Very interesting week for quarterbacks too, by the way. We've talked all season about how it's about efficiency and not volume, and we're going to see how and why very much displayed here in week 15. Lamar Jackson, 17 of 22. Only threw the ball 22 times. 243 through the air, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 10 carries, 35 yards and a touchdown, 30.22 DraftKings points. Smash. Jalen Hurts, way underpriced. Anytime a running back's going to run the ball, anytime a quarterback's going to run the ball 10 plus times in a game predictably, and they're not like 6,800 or more on DraftKings, you have to just jam them. So 24 of 44, he did throw the ball a lot, was not efficient through the air, completing like just over 50% of his passes, but 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 11 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown. So that's 6.3 points on the ground. And then added in the touchdown for upside. So we had the floor of the rushing yards and the upside of the possibility of a rushing touchdown, which he cashed in on both. 40.8 points, another smash. We were looking at Jared Goff as a leverage play off of the chalk running backs, which is something that we advise doing in tournaments here all the time. Anytime there's going to be a chalk running back, you leverage off of them. You saw Ryan Tannehill as the poster boy, as the cover boy. He did a great job this week. And we talked about it on the Anti-Tinkercast on Twitch on Sunday morning. As many people who's going to be on Derrick Henry, was it possible that Tannehill was going to have 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown? Well, he had 3 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns to leverage off of all the Henry players. And it's just a very simple way. I tried to do that with Jared Goff in the article, did not get there. 16.3 DraftKings points, as you know, once again, Sean can't trust McVay. 209 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. So he was a miss there, but I stand by the philosophy of what we were doing. Obviously, it did not work with Goff. Derrick Henry could have had an absolute slate-breaking day, right? Did not. Still had a very good day. 24 rushes, 147 yards and a touchdown. Caught 2 balls. They threw the ball to him 2 times. So, like, there's that. At least, you know, they're throwing the ball a little bit, a little taste. 28.2 DraftKings points, and still somehow left people upset because he didn't have 5 touchdowns yesterday. Jonathan Taylor, he was fine, not thrilling. Did carry the ball 16 times for 83 yards and a touchdown. Caught 4 of 5 balls thrown his way for only 12 yards. That was a bit of an anomaly there. 19.5 DraftKings points in what could have been a really, really, really big day. He had like 11 DraftKings points in the first half of the first quarter, and then only put up like 9 the rest of the day. So they could have handed him the ball a ton more. They didn't. Whatever. Cam Akers was a miss. I'll take an L here. However, Cam Akers wasn't bad. Cam Akers ran the ball 15 times for 63 yards, was thrown the ball 3 times, scored 7.2 DraftKings points. He sucked because the Rams sucked in total. They lost to the Jets at home. What the hell are you doing? Alvin Kamara, he was added to this as all of the injuries came out on Friday. As you can see, I kind of updated the article, updated Saturday. He was the chalk play of the weekend at all buy-in levels. He ran the ball 11 times for 54 yards, only caught 3 balls on 6 targets. That was a bit odd. I was expecting like 7 to 12 targets for him, and he did not get anywhere close to that. Did find his way into the end zone. He's maybe got the best balance in the league of guys who are freaks of nature when it comes to balance and footwork. Gotcha 18.4 DraftKings points. It wasn't what we were looking for, but it did not hurt you. We were looking for like 25, 28 points, but like really his value threshold was like 22. So like he didn't miss by all that much. And in cash games, he was probably just fine considering you paired him with one of the value plays and probably Henry. So like running backs did not hurt you this week unless you had Akers and cash. J.K. Dobbins, 14 carries, about what we expected, 64 yards and a touchdown. Would have liked to have seen more. One catch on one target, 17 yards, 15.1 DraftKings points. Fine. Kenyon Drake was a miss. 10 carries, 26 yards, no touchdowns. 2 catches on 2 targets, 14 yards. I'll take an L on Kenyon Drake here. That's fine with me. Whatever. Allen Robinson, 4 catches on 5 targets, 83 yards and no touchdowns. So the Bears, if you didn't play David Montgomery, there were just no targets to go around. So people are going to look at the box score and say, wow, they didn't use Allen Robinson. They didn't use Cole Kmet. But the reality is they didn't have to use those guys for the simple fact that they didn't throw the ball. I think they threw it like 20 times on the whole day. So like the percentage of routes run, the percentage of snaps, everything was normal. They just didn't throw the ball because Minnesota couldn't stop David Montgomery on the ground. So why throw it? 4 of 5 for 83 yards, no touchdowns, 12.3 points. Terry McLaurin, 7 catches on 12 targets. Absolutely ecstatic with the volume here. Only 77 yards, no touchdowns, 14.4 points. Brandon Ayuk got 13 targets, caught 9 of them for 73 yards and a touchdown for 22.3 points. So people who played Ayuk are going to be really happy. People who played Terry McLaurin are going to be really sad. But the reality is that their lines are very, very, very similar. If you kind of take a look at them side by side. It looks like Ayuk smashed and it looks like Terry McLaurin missed, but like the amount that they missed by, all I can predict is volume, or try to predict is volume, and we got it from both of them. So I'm happy with both of those plays. AJ Brown bailed us out. 5 of 6 for 44 yards, but he did catch a touchdown when they got close. 15.4 DraftKings points. Not enough to really satisfy, especially not in tournaments. Was where we were playing, was off of that leverage off of Derrick Henry. And Cooper Kupp, the whole Rams team was just a complete mess. 8.9 DraftKings points. Caught 5 of 5 that headed his way for 39 and no touchdowns. Travis Kelce was a smash, as Travis Kelce is always a smash. 8 catches, 12 targets, 68 yards and a touchdown. Could or should have been bigger. 22.8 DraftKings points. Cole Kmet, spoke about it just a few seconds ago. Didn't get there. 3.2 DraftKings points. You want to give me an L here? I'll take an L here. But Minnesota just was bad. They're just really, really bad defensively. He ran enough routes. He played enough snaps. He did everything that he was supposed to do. But the real problem was that they just didn't have to throw the ball, and they didn't throw the ball. I still think that his value should be up here around 4,000 to 4,300 moving forward. We'll have to see on first look. But it is what it is. TJ Hawkinson, complete mess. 2 catches on 4 targets, 18 yards, 3.8 DraftKings points. Rams were a mess. Cowboys scored 16 DraftKings points. Washington did not do what we thought that they would do with only 3 points. So going over to my lineups, these are the hand-built lineups that I had in the 1,500. You can see 2 of them cash. This one just bubbled, didn't quite make it. So Cole Kmet cost me here. I didn't have enough of the late game stuff here to actually get there. In the morning, you could see that I had all these dudes that just kind of went bonkers. Pollard I had a lot of yesterday, and he was somebody that I think that people were as high a percentage as he had. It still should have been much higher, and that's the thing that we were talking about. If we had known on like Wednesday that Ezekiel Elliott was going to be out, I think that Pollard would have been like a 50 plus to 60% played person in tournaments. But because it happened late, and everybody had to pivot late to get to that, it was just a weird situation. So like, as I said, I kind of min cashed these. They weren't really great. I didn't get really deep in these in the tournaments. Here you can see the lineups that I had in there and where they finished. I was in like the 300 levels. Just didn't really get there with anything. This was my Murray and Hopkins lineup with Fournette and Taylor and Kamara. Goddard didn't really bust a grape, dropped a touchdown late in the game. Gallup left with an injury after scoring an early touchdown, but didn't do much else. Ayuk did Ayuk things. The best lineup that I had in this one, I had Hurts. I think this was a naked Hurts with Pollard, Kamara, Tyreek, Kelce. They both caught a touchdown and didn't really do all that much. It was just a weird afternoon. I got lucky with the Kendrick Bourne pivot off of Ayuk in this lineup as he caught that Hail Mary at the end of the day, which kind of boosted him from being like a bust to being a superstar play on value. And looking at my 150, I got absolutely crushed in 150 because of the afternoon games. So I was much higher and I had a ton of PMR, and I had between Jalen Hurts, I had 15% Jalen Hurts, I think I had 6 or 7% Tannehill, so it looks like I ended up matching the field, and I should have overweighted the field there. And I think I had 10% Kyler Murray. So I had 25% of these guys coming late who had 38 and 40 points between them and did not have the right combinations, as I had way too many I played way too much Saints, and everybody played a lot of Saints, but like I just didn't overweight the field on the right game, and I watched my teams kind of just get pulled downward as it went on. Going over to FanDuel, same sort of a situation there. Where's my entries? Same sort of a situation there, right? My top scoring lineup: Kyler Murray, Pollard, who was in high stakes, and I talk about this a lot. For those of you who pay very, very, very close attention, people that are at my stream 5 days a week, 6 days a week, including Sunday, those of you who watch the videos every single day, right? And you study this and you jump in Discord and you're involved and you're trying to get better, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about here. The difference between low stakes and high stakes. This is the Millionaire Maker, right? The Sunday Million, $4.44. It's a $4.44 entry fee. Tony Pollard was what, 4.7K? 4.7K? He was 14% owned in low stakes. 14% owned in low stakes. It was very similar on DraftKings in terms of ownership on both sides. Looking at the high stakes tournament, and congratulations to Head Chopper winning his second $1 million first prize on FanDuel. Absolute legend. Old friend of mine in the industry. This was the $250 tournament. Tony Pollard at high stakes, 38.5%. So those of you who pay attention, and those of you who play the game, and those of you who really put in the time to get better, even if you're a smaller bankrolled player, right? The game is different. The game is tougher at high stakes. But those of you who play lower stakes and pay as close attention as you guys pay, and I've talked about this numerous times, you guys have a distinct edge at those low dollar tournaments, the mini-max games, and at the $1, $2, $3, $5 head-to-head games. You have a drastic edge over the field at those games because the cash lines are lower because of something like that. Tony Pollard was the obvious play. I think I had 45% Tony Pollard on FD. I probably should have upped my allocation to like 60 to 80%, somewhere in that range, because he was that obvious a play. But the score lines at low stakes are lower. This is not my opinion. This is proven fact by looking at the numbers. The score lines are lower at lower stakes. The cash line in 50-50s, single entry, is lower at lower stakes. And the fact that you guys are putting in the work every single week, you guys know the right moves more than the random player that just kind of says, I'm going to play my lineup because these are the guys that I like. This is my favorite team, or these are the guys that I have in season long, or whatever. You have a distinct edge. So if you can play head-to-heads at low stakes, play as many different opponents as you can. If you have a chance at mini-max, you understand tournament strategy and game theory better than the players that are playing those tournaments. And I'm trying to get you guys to continue to express that edge throughout the entirety of NFL season, the playoffs, and NBA season as it is approaching. It gets here Tuesday. Tomorrow is the first night. It's a 2-game slate. Wednesday is the first full slate. Keep pounding your edge at low stakes while you still have it. DraftKings is doing an amazing job of bringing in a lot of new people to the industry, and they don't know what you know. So continue doing great. I don't have the cage matchup. I lost by 5 points. I had Kelsey and Hertz and Akers. Lost by 5 points to Mike Clay, so I'll be donating $100 to the V Foundation. I had a chance. Akers killed me. The Rams killed me. It is what it is. I still don't trust Sean McVay, and I never will. But look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.